story, and as a moving forward, no, some media call straight into the camp of the National Democratic Congress. Some media, one big question that people are beginning to ask is that who take over from President John Dramani Mahama? A number of names have come up, like Atoforsen, Haruna Idrisu, Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, Asiedu Nketia, and the rest. So there has been a research, Musa Dankwa Aye, or said these are some of the these are some sort of support coming to some of these people whose name have come back to be the next after John Dramani Mahama. In the research, Watcher said, as at now, no, this is the level of support percentage-wise. This person has, that person has, and then who is a viable candidate? As the National Democratic Congress present here is going to be a win for them in 2028. On your screen, so Johnson Asiedu Nketia, General Mosquito, the percentage around 28%. Dr. Atofors and also 12%. Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman 6.1, Haruna Idrisu 7.8, Okujeto Ablakwa 1.7, Simon Elsie 1.1, and a whole number of people. So if you look at this carefully, it's more or less like who is leading currently as Johnson Asiedu Nketia. So it has raised a number of concerns. So the frequency around 1,621. So per this research, it's more or less like delegates are kind of supporting Johnson Asiedu Nketia more per this research. So there are a number of people like Franka Makohene 0.1, Guzitano 0.0, and a whole lot. So those who haven't decided as at now, they don't know whether to go for this or that. No. And they are around 37.7% with a frequency of 2,064. Those are the number of delegates. They haven't decided whether to go for this person or that. So per the research, Kamia said Johnson Asiedu Nketia is taking the lead as far as who takes the nod after John Dramani Mahama. So on your screens, coming from Kofi Bento, the Vice President of Imani Africa, Asiedu Nketia is one of the sharpest and most underestimated politicians in Ghana. From Kofi Bento, it's more or less like people. Johnson Asiedu Nketia is one of the people who are so sharp, but it's more or less like a number of people underestimate what he can actually do and the crowd he can actually put together. So that's coming from Johnson Asiedu Nketia. So in the same story and in the same issue, and Kofi Bento na odi nenum sem to draw a trace per the researcher Musa Dankwa no, people shouldn't lambast him, people shouldn't kind of raise eyebrows. So it might be like what he's saying is actually the case, or it might be that there's some level of truth, because over the years like I say who say Musa Dankwa, some of these researchers or it comes out to be true. Yenko tie Kofi Bento ninchire mo de masansem.
It's not even in this list.
No.
What does that tell you?
I will prefer
to
be president who, if was running, and Dr. Bawumia were not running, I will vote for. You see? Now, that's a very nuanced situation. My preference. How many people are like me? And if Musa, for instance, came to me privately and I felt secure, I would tell him privately. Now, if many people say the same thing, then you realize that name pops up. So there are ways of eliciting some of these things. And I'm saying that even though I say I have that preference, I think also that person's time has not come. And my own theory is that there's one person on this list whose time has not come. They are peaking before time. That's one. There's another person on this list who is pretentious. There's zero chance that he's going to be president, but he's going to run. Because maybe other people are speaking to him. There's somebody too here who maybe has a lot of grassroots, support. People will mention his name. You'll be surprised how much people change from what they say to what they do inside the polling booth. All right? So many things are at play. And the thing is, a poll is a snapshot in time of what people's thinking is. It is by no means a direct indicative of what the outcome will be. Check Hillary Clinton's election. On every poll, in every analysis, she was way ahead. And it was because people were not even confident to say what they would do. When they got into the polling booth, they did what they did. Okay, so I'm saying the NDC people should stop worrying Musa. In fact, he's doing them a big favor. Okay, all of us Ghanaians, MPP, everybody, political, non-political, these things are indicators of where the nation is going. Sometimes, you may not even be that political, but like I said, some people here may be peaking before time. Some people here too, they have a zero chance. Okay, when you see some of these things, it should force you to question yourself. Are these the people you want to lead the country? Elections have consequences. If maybe somebody here is so way off, but is popular, what we call a populist demagogue, okay? And you think that, no, you know something which should make this person disqualified or should not ever be president, then you become active to make sure that doesn't happen. Because elections have consequences. Some people have elected some people into their, presidencies, and they are shredding their countries. So look, what Musa is doing is useful. Nobody should go after him. Musa, continue to do what you are doing. He himself will tell you that this is by no means an indication of who will win in the end. Mm-hmm. And they are what we call dark horses in politics. And what in America they call the October surprise. A dark horse can emerge from nowhere at a time that you are not even expecting and take over. October surprises. Some of the people here can be leading. And then 2 weeks to election, you find him in some crazy scandal and poof, he's gone. It happened in Canada in the very, very, very last election. Mm-hmm. The front runner who was deemed to have gone beyond, the point of winning, like he was the winner, lost. And the person who came from nowhere won. He's not the prime minister. So, in short, it's a useful exercise. I am very excited by it. Like I always say, in money, these are some of the things we dabble in. But when people like Musa come across and he's doing a better job specifically on this, we'll see the space to him. Just that he's not trying to steal some idea that we started.
Which is what?
The sentiment analysis. He's trying to steal our idea. We won't fight you over it. If you do a better job, we will leave it to you.
So that is in Churchemua, Mr. Bento, and I said, Kofi Bento Edemai, as far as the candidature of Asiedu Nketia is concerned, it's more or less like, yes, he's been underestimated, but a number of things can actually take a turn. It will actually put Ghanaians in a surprise state. In this same issue, Kofi Bento, to church few weeks ago, Asiedu Nketia, General Mosquito, or Debeton Mountains, or say, in 2024, the victory of the National Democratic Congress, it's because of his advisor, Odema John Dramani Mahama said, Muntaka any Haruna Indrisu, he should just put them aside and then appoint a different group of people to fill in their position. That was why in 2024, the National Democratic Congress, they secured that big victory. Kofi Bento, it's more or less like Asiedu Nketia is talking too much. What he's saying is like the claim he's actually making, it's actually not the case. So there is a particular publication to this effect. Kofi Bento says more or less like what Asiedu Nketia is saying, that he's the one that advised John Dramani Mahama to put Haruna Idrisu and Muntaka aside, to be able to secure that victory they were able to secure. It's more or less like he's blowing his own trumpet, and I said he's talking too much. Producer, so on your screen he says that the shuffle Asiedu Nketia said he did in Parliament got the win of the NDC is not true. It's a political maneuvering of his own future. So Ochema Nacha said that claim Asiedu Nketia at the Beton Mountain. So it's more or less like he's trying to maneuver his own future. So that is the update coming from that end. So it's here for a better master set Ojebre, it's here updates are yet a massive.